and welcome. You're watching Digital Disruptor series. I am Kalpana Singhal, Editor-in-Chief, CXO TV, and we have Manish Kishore, Group IT Head at Andhra Pradesh MedTech Zone, as our guest today. Hello, and a warm welcome to you, Manish.
Thank you so much, Kalpana, for having me here.
Yeah, so it's a pleasure talking to you today for me as well.
Yeah, same here.
Kindly introduce yourself to our CXO TV audience.
Yeah, so I have been in the industry for almost 2.5 decades and on the CIO position for almost 10 years. And currently, I'm heading the IT division for Andhra Pradesh MedTech Zone, which is the Indian's largest medical device ecosystem for manufacturing in India. Overall, my role has actually grown beyond the jargons of digital enabler and technical operator over the years, and more towards a change agent who champions business model innovation, collaboration, and leadership. So I'm majorly responsible for forming alliances and partnerships for AMTZ transformation, and it is participation in a digital ecosystem.
Right. So how is AMTZ contributing to the Make in India vision of the government and to build in-house capabilities for developing medical technology in the country?
AMTZ is the largest and India's first integrated medical device manufacturing ecosystem. It is spread across over 270 acres of land with state-of-art infrastructure for innovators, startups, manufacturing companies, small to very large. And when we say that it's an ecosystem, it is a complete ecosystem from the scientific labs to startups to innovators to a small manufacturers to a very large scale manufacturers. So in the recent COVID times, I can tell you that we have been able to roll out IVD diagnostic kits, PPE kits, masks, ventilators, all of them through our manufacturers.
So what are the challenges medical device manufacturers face in India, and how is AMTZ easing those challenges? What are the facilities and support AMTZ offers to the organization setting base in the zone?
So I think that we develop an ecosystem in totality. When manufacturers do organization level product which they make, so we have scientific labs here where all these equipments, devices are tested, and after testing they get certification, and after certification they do a POC to a minimum viable product which they take into the market, and it is being given for a pilot run across. And once it is being done, we have spaces for manufacturing unit which is being allocated where they can manufacture themselves. So they don't have to go out of AMTZ for any of these things. Everything is in-house. And since we are a government enterprise, it is all the more important that all the permissions are given in-house. And I can affirm you that our time to market is very fast. And we don't let manufacturers run around for permissions and things. The whole campus was built in less than 1 year, which is spread in two wings, phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 was completed in less than 1 year, and we have two incubation centers, one convention center where the WHO conference has happened. So it is which hosted around 1,500 people in one event. And we have a training institute, Indian Biomedical Skill Consortium, where we train biomedical engineers. And in the COVID times, I can tell you that we have been coaching, mentoring people, training them, which is for the jobs in the market. Jobs in the medical industry have grown into multiple times. So if you say that the person who is trained, he is able to get the job on site immediately after getting the training. So we have started the Skill Vigyan Center. We have also started the technician training program for critical care equipment.
Right. So what are the benefits that manufacturers will get if they are based out of AMTZ zone, and in comparison to they are doing it elsewhere?
So at AMTZ, it is a one-stop solution. So they don't have to run out of the campus to do the certifications, to do the standard testings, to do the quality testing. and to get it approved by the industry for market. So by setting up the manufacturing industry here, I think we are giving them a heads up and all these things. Plus, we also support them in getting the orders from the industry, state governments, and other organizations.
Yeah. So, we know that it is a capital intensive kind of a nature when it comes to manufacturing such devices. So, what kind of support AMTZ is giving them on that front?
So, in terms of support, we have multiple types of arrangements that we can do. We can have a lease of factory, which is given with infrastructure or without infrastructure. So we help them to deploy the infrastructure, and they can just park and start playing around the manufacturing unit.
Yeah. So coming to your core thing, that how crucial is the role of IT department in strengthening the infrastructure and facilities of the AMTZ?
I think it is. It has. I think 10 years back or 2 years back, before the pandemic started, IT was just look at it as a legacy, classic IT, where we have to just look at surveillance cameras, network, laptops, and desktops, and little bit of innovation that we do across. But now the times have changed, and now I think we have a role to play at a very bigger chance. And earlier I used to go once in a while in the board meetings, in discussions. Now I think 80% of the meetings, IT has a role to play. Technology has a role to play in every meeting, every instance, because it has gone to that kind of extent. And technology-wise, we are helping the organizations to leverage, starting from supply chain for manufacturing, taking care of employees, taking care of. So I can start with, because of social distancing, we had deployed throughout the campus a contact tracing solution, where every person is being located through the Bluetooth camera, and we have thermal cameras being deployed across, where we are monitoring the temperature of persons. We are doing some bit of face recognitions, which has come up with a hurdle of PDPA. I think we have just stopped that until the clearance is given from the government on that aspect of it. But that's a key project that we are working on. We have implemented ERP across for the manufacturing companies, which was inaugurated by the Honorable Minister of Andhra Pradesh. And we are also launching at the national level products, which has helped laboratories. When we talk about scientific laboratories, so there is very less of correlation when we talk about innovators and startups finding where I can certify my product, where I can do the compliance tests for my product. Because in India, the compliance and governance are taken at a very low strength as compared to US or Canada. So we have started a mobile app named TechCola, which is in collaboration with BIRAC and Department of Biotechnology, which brings together all the laboratories and startups incubators at one place, where they don't need to look around for where I should go for it. So they can just log in, pay for the price of the test, and just send the product. And the product is tested as per the standards given by the industry.
For the quality assurance. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what are the key technologies you are using for seamless operations at AMTZ? I mean, when you talked about ERP, what are the other technologies you're using?
So seamless operations, this maximum has been taken care by ERP because that has multiple aspects of it, starting from project management, because various projects every day, every department is taking up. So we are looking at project management. We are looking at approval system. Because there are multi-layer approval system, which is there from various departments that has been automated. The employees, their leave balances, all have been automated. And apart from this, we have taken into it the purchase management, inventory, everything has been put on ERP, starting from entry to the zone. It is being entered in ERP. Then we also look at the sales CRM aspect of the manufacturing zone, which is happening. What is the supply chain which is required? We help them into it, because in COVID times we face major problem in getting the supplies to the manufacturer. How should we make sure that oxygen concentrator is available to people when it is required, and that too when the material is not available in India? So how can we go about it? So we have brought in a data analytics team which is working day in day out to find out what kind of supply chain is required to make sure that seamless supply is being made.
Yeah, sure. Especially when
Sorry for that. Please go on.
Yeah, especially when we are preparing for the third wave of COVID. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I think that should be a new normal when people are wearing masks and making social distancing and making sure that hands are sanitized and all those things should be maintained. And I'm sure people are getting used to it, working from home and ensuring that this pandemic is over and we don't get infected much about it.
Yeah. So the ERP and the sales CRM that we are talking about, and for the supply chain also. So what kind of technology has been used in that, and are these customized, inbuilt, in-house built,
Yes.
or it's with the partners?
Yeah, so we have in-house developed. This is a FOSS-free and open source software called Odoo, which we have developed in-house, and because we don't want to go into license regime and waste the money of a common citizen which they have spent on income tax, and we cuff out that system. So we have adopted a base where we'll be working on the free and open source, and we ensure that the software is developed in-house, taking care of security and taking care of the standards. And I can tell you that within last 2 months, we have reduced the paper load to half of it. So that's what our aim is, to make offices a paperless office, a seamless flow of files from one department to other, so that the approval is being made. So that's the objective which we have, a full transparent system.
Yeah. So as you said that you have tried to make it paperless, and half of the the load has been shed by implementing these technologies. So what kind of a business outcome, is there any measurability, the stats that okay, this is the benefit after implementing these technologies?
Yeah, so I think it is too soon to tell about the measures, but I can tell you the turnaround time, which was few days to a week for some approvals, which has come down to few hours.
Okay, so these are the business outcomes.
And in terms of projects, so people were doing a project management on paper and on looking at things in a very shabby manner. So we're running with paper from one meeting to another and getting approvals for it. Now I think by implementing the project management tool, they can have a clear bird's eye view of the project and dependencies on each line item, and ensuring that the tasks allocation, the overdue tasks, and the cost is being measured at one desktop.
Surely. So how are you leveraging new age technologies, including cloud, AI, ML, data analytics, RPA, and automation, etc.?
Yeah, so very valid question. I think new age technologies are the ones which I can start with saying I have basically seven elements which we are looking at as the key technologies which will shape AMTZ, that would make sure that we are running in race with the global teams. So one is the rise of on-demand healthcare. So people have started demanding the healthcare on their own schedule. So when you think of on demand, you think of consumer who want things at their own convenience, at their own time. So that's the first agenda which we have in terms of adoption of technology. The second is importance of big data in healthcare. So we are bringing in big data in healthcare in terms of uh, aggregating the information about the business through formats such as social media, e-commerce, online transactions, uh, financial transactions, and we can identify the patterns and trends for future use. So we can go in detail about the big data. For the third one is treating patients with virtual reality. That is something which we are bringing in. Then growth of wearable medical devices. So everyone after the pandemic has started moving, wearing the watches connected with the Android phones and measuring their BP, how much steps they have taken. So that's something which we have taken. Then next was the preventive healthcare, which is on our agenda. And definitely artificial intelligence is something which is on the top of the chain, and we are also leveraging on blockchain and the promise that it brings to the electronic medical records. So that's something which we are working day in day out, specifically on electronic medical records, because when you see in the pandemic times, uh, there is very less patient records and there's a lot of duplicacy which is there. The data is not interoperable. So government of India has started a unique health ID within the union territories, and it is soon to come up in other states. So we are in talks with various government organizations to make sure that this process is fastened, and we also ensure that the steps are being taken to get the things on track for it. And specifically when we talk about 5G coming into place, everybody has access to internet on their mobiles. We are looking closely to it that the hospitals have got the EHR or EMR into place, and they are doing the e-prescription into it. So government is supporting this initiative. There is special NHA being formed in it, and we think that in coming days it should be taken into consideration. And the next thing which we are looking at is virtual environments, because of high speed internet connections which enable robotic surgeries. So we have a startup which has already performed at a great deal and have done trials for robotic surgeries. So we are looking at developing a high speed data center which will connect to hospitals, giving them a platform that can be used by clinicians. So clinicians could use ultra reliable connections to teleport to virtual environments and perform robotic surgeries. Next is we are looking at augmented reality glasses, which would allow first responders to connect with faraway specialists and show them exactly what they're seeing in order to receive better guidance. And we are also working on 5G enabled drones, which could deliver life-saving medical devices to patients in hard to reach rural areas. That's something which we are working with University of Wollongong, where we are developing a 3D ear, which can, and so many other organs in a facility called Origin, which is being developed right now, and shortly we should be coming up with that.
And that sounds very interesting, Manish. And tell us more about AIC AMTZ Medivalley, the project I think recently been taken care by AMTZ.
Yeah, so we have two incubation centers which are being made is AIC Medivalley and BioValley. So both are into different aspects of medical device industry. One is looking at purely the mechanical aspects of it. All the incubation startups which are, so these days a lot of students from IITs and others, they are bringing in new innovations. Now they don't find a place where they can get all the guidance across. So we have Medivalley for that purpose, where it is more on mechanical and electronic kind of environment, whereas BioValley is taking care of biological cells. So I'm not the right person for in detail what they do on it. Probably those people can definitely come back to you on the details of it.
Not an issue. So what is your future outlook for medical technology, manufacturing and development in India?
So when we say future outlook is, I think telemedicine is one thing which has come up very, very fast. If you see, eSanjeevani is one of the portal which has been brought up by government for teleconsultation for common citizens, which is free of cost. I think that is going to be very, very large, and people should adopt it. That is one thing which would come up very fast now. And AI is the second thing which will have digital transformation trends in healthcare, because it represents the epitome of medical innovation, and industry players are eager to invest millions in it. And let's say for most patients, AI in medicine brings to mind Japanese nurse robot, which has been very recently come up, like Moxie. So those things are definitely coming in. Chatbots and virtual health assistants are coming up very fast in it. And definitely for the precision medicine, about the medical imaging, drug discovery, and genomics, that's where the real power of AI will come in.
So what kind of a message you would like to give to our audience?
Okay, so I would just like to say that information technology combined with healthcare, which becomes digital healthcare, that's a need of the hour. And more startups, innovators can anytime reach out to us, and we would be ready to help. And that would be a service to the nation when these newcomers, new startups can come up and build their products here, which can expand globally. And we become the global center of excellence for medical devices here.
Yeah. Thank you, Manish. It was a complete pleasure interacting with you today. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Please follow #DigitalDisruptors and stay tuned to our social media channels for more updates. Stay safe and take care.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.